Hello, and thank you for stopping by yet another edition of the Massachusetts Beer Reviews channel of YouTube. Just reviewed, check out the last review. I just reviewed Pabst Blue Ribbon beer. Gave that an A for a traditional American style adjunct lager, B- overall. This one's slightly different. It is a lager, but it's brewed to be a West Coast style IPA with a lager yeast. From the Jack's Abbey Craft Lagers Brewing Company, located at 100 Clinton Street, Framingham, Massachusetts. It is their Hoponius Union India Pale Lager IPL with a 6.5% alcohol by volume content and a 65 IBU rating for the bitterness. This one claims to be brewed, or at least canned, on the 6th of September 2017. My review of the Pabst Blue Ribbon had this glassware, the Narragansett Lager Beer Chalice, and that is the only reasoning I'm using this glassware is because I used it in the last beer review. They do not tell you on the website on Jack's Abbey about what kind of ingredients go into their beers they've had between 2011 and 2015, various awards that this beer has won. And I've had the beer numerous times, so I have a pretty good recollection of the beer and this flavor, straight pour. But I'm going to be very open-minded. I had thought that I reviewed this at one point in time, but I can't find it on my channel that I have, so here I go. And I'm glad I haven't reviewed it because it is a worthy beer to review. And its color, as you can see here on the side of the camera, let me pull it up for you. There's some light, sure. Very orangey, copper, rusty colored with that very white-looking head. I think I don't remember, or yeah, they say it's unfiltered, unpasteurized on most of their beers, because leaving the yeast in there can provide a lot of good flavors. So yeah, it has that yeasty look to it and sediment. It's got the fine white particles, nothing chunky at all. It just has almost, I would say, that New England IPA kind of a chill haze to it. So the smell of it is great. I got a whiff of it. I like that. There's the light tropical fruit juice notes to it. Definitely your big three for me that I'm smelling, which are grapefruit, pineapple, and some orangey notes. Definitely they're all there. And like it being a West Coast IPA in style, I'm getting some of that malty note of a caramel and a toffee, and a light amount of the pine needles mixed with that kind of a tobacco, leathery note that you can get from its pine notes. Light amount of resin and oil. Not a huge presence to it. Definitely has a clean lagering nose to it, with just a nice white bready sweetness underneath everything. So it smells pretty balanced, actually, I would say, between malts and the tropical juicy notes. It smells like a light version of a New England style IPA, just with that twinge of the West Coast with the kind of a malt of caramel and toffee. So I could smell that for days and be happy. I hope this sounds like it smells like a great beer. Let's see if it tastes like one on camera. Hoponius Union. One of the beers that has converted a lot of craft beer guys to good lagers. Cheers. It's a lot, 65 IBUs. It's a lot hoppier and bitter on the taste than the nose will let you to believe. The nose, to me, almost let me believe it was going to be a light to medium beer. No. This is a straight up medium, not quite full, or not quite a giant beer, but medium beer. We have Gabriel Celia from Phoenix. Good day, and thank you for joining the channel. So we have a medium, straight up bodied beer. Crisp, yes. Clean, it's pretty dry. So yeah, refreshing as all hell, you bet your ass it is. It is grapefruit, pineapple, and orange forward. Some juicy notes, but there's definitely your West Coast pine notes, leather notes, light tobacco notes. Caramel and toffee malts are in there. There's a little bit of a spiciness from the hop as well. They don't tell you on the website what kind of hops they use. The last thing for me to leave the palate is a residual sweetness, but it does not last for that long. After the in this region here, towards the back of the palate is where I'm getting all this bitter note. It's only slightly oily, and it's got a touch of a dank note, but it's not dank for very long, and it's not oily for very long. It just is a touch heavier than most of your standard IPAs. But I'd say if you really like New England style IPAs and you like West Coast style IPAs, and you say to yourself, an India Pale Ale, like the West Coast, but brewed with a lager yeast, if that sounds intriguing to you, you would absolutely love this beer. They say on the can, tropical citrus aroma, wicked hoppy. Both are true, even it being 65 IBUs. It has a nice white bread, malty backbone to it. Yes, indeed, a Pilsner-ish malt to it. The hops and the bitterness are the big star to the show. It's not a huge thwart of the hops, but I think it's going to be a lot bigger than 65 would let on to believe. So I would say, personally, if I had to guess, Celia, Gabriel Celia, hello. If I had to guess, my palate is almost saying it's 30% of a malty flavor and 70% it's hops. So, how would I rate this beer? Where am I going with this? Let's get down to brass tacks. Beer rating. I really like the beer, and I can only fault the beer as far as it's a little bit, for me, it's just a little bit too hop and bitterness forward. And as I talk now, I can get that residual bitterness flavor and more of the resin notes in the background, which is, I guess, kind of cool in a way. I want to give this an 80. I want to give it my standard B+, an 85. I don't want to give it quite an 88 or a 90. I think it is I do think in its own right, it does have the world-class merits, and I think certain people would be totally legitimately fine in giving it a world-class rating. But for me, I'm going to give it an 85. All I wish is that malts were more prevalent and there was more of a malty backbone to support this hoppy flavor. And support some of the sweetness, even though it's 6. 8.5%. It does have more sweetness than I think people would guess that it would have. So I would give it an 85 just on those merits alone. So let me know if you had any Jack's Abbey's beers, any IPLs, any India Pale Lagers, any craft lagers, and what your thoughts are on the subject and the topic of craft lager beers. This is Hoponius Union. Gabriel Salia, nice to see you. Thanks for joining the channel. And if anybody has a beer that I should review or would like to see me review, post it in the comment section below. And until next time, keep tasting those great beers. Cheers. I will see you soon. Type in Massachusetts beer reviews to YouTube. Type it into Facebook as well. You'll find it. You'll find a group on Facebook, and you can join us. All you got to do is ask to join, and I'll let you in. So, cheers from Massachusetts.